Welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I have something that's great for dinner when it's hot outside and you really don't feel like doing all of that cooking. I'm going to show you how to turn a cup of soup into a meal. Yes, this is the microwave cup of soups that you buy in the store, and I know most people have tried it. A lot of people will eat it as ramen noodles, and they do sell the ramen noodles, and you can use those, but we're going to use a cup of soup. So the ingredients that we're going to need to make this cup of soup Carne Asada style is going to be, of course, the cup of soup noodles. We're going to need minced garlic, tomatoes, onion, lime, jalapeno peppers, salt, and I needed fresh cilantro. Realized I didn't have it, so I'm going to use this, but it's better if you get fresh cilantro. You will need cabbage, and this is just shaved beef steak. You can buy it at Walmart or any of your local grocery stores. You'll need onion powder, garlic powder, and if you want it hot, you will need some ground red pepper, and you can add cheese to it. Now, these two ingredients are optional. So I'm going to go away, get everything prepared, come back, show you how to put together the pico de gallo part of it, which is something that's going to go on the top. I'll shred my cabbage while I'm away, and I'll meet you at the stove so that we can fry up our shaved steak. Now, while I'm frying up the shaved steak, I'm going to also go ahead and cook the noodles according to the package instructions. So you just add water, put it in the microwave, and that's going to be the end of that. So while your beef is actually frying up in the pan, you'll also go ahead and cook your noodles in the microwave. So I'll meet you at the stove. Be right back. Okay, now I'm going to show you. You can buy the pre-made or the already shredded coleslaw type cabbage, or you can cut the cabbage up yourself. It's going to be cheaper if you cut it up yourself. And as you can see, that's what I'm doing. And see, it's very, very small cuts. So all you want to do is just stay close to the last cut. Okay, and then just cut it down. But see, it's very thin cuts of cabbage. Okay, so you need that. So I'm going to finish cutting up this, and this is just 1/3 of the cabbage. That's all I need because I'm making a serving of 4. So every 1 cup of soup will be a serving. Okay, so if you have 6 people, then you would use 6 cups of soup. If you have 4 people, then you would use 4 cups of soup. Okay, so I'm making it for a serving of 4. I'm using 1/3 of cabbage. You can use either more or you can use less, depending on how much you like cabbage. Cabbage only takes a short time to cook. You're going to see me prepare it at the stove. Just want to show you how to actually cut up the cabbage, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm back, and I have my bowl here to make my pico de gallo. Now, I've already cut up my onions and my jalapeno peppers, and I cut up my tomatoes. Now, with the jalapeno peppers, what I did was I de-seeded 2, and I just left the seeds in 1 because I do want a little bit of heat, but I don't want a lot of heat. So this is a very simple dish to make. So the only thing we're going to do is to go ahead and put in all of the ingredients. So I'm going to first put in the tomatoes, and all of the tomatoes is diced up, and I diced them up small. I'm going to go ahead and put in the onions as well as put in the jalapeno peppers. Now, if you like a little bit more heat, then leave your seeds in. Okay? You don't have to take your seeds out. Now, it's not good to use dried cilantro, but like I told you, I didn't have any that was fresh. Really, I forgot when I went to get the ingredients for the recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and use about 2 tablespoons of the dried. Now, it's better when you're making this dish. It is definitely better for you to use the fresh cilantro. Now, you're going to also add a 1/2 of a teaspoon of minced garlic. Now, you can mince your own, or as you can see, mine I already had, I buy it in a jar. So I go ahead and I use that. You're going to need a half of a teaspoon of salt. We're going to stir that. Now we're going to sit this off to the side while we go ahead and do the rest of the items, because we want the flavors from everything to blend together. So that's going to take at least 30 minutes. And we won't be really doing this dish for 30 minutes. So what you can do is you can cover this and just leave it refrigerated until you get ready to serve. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the juice from 1 lemon. Okay, so I'm going to put all of that in. And I didn't hold my hand down. I should have got the juice from 1 lime. I should have got my lime squeezer, but I didn't. I want to take out that little seed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix that in. Now that's all to pico de gallo. This is ready. You can add more pepper if you want, jalapeno pepper if you want. You can add more of any one of the vegetables that you truly like. But that's it. So we're going to leave this sitting off to the side, and I'll meet you at the stove where we'll complete this dish. Okay, now the sound that you hear in the back is my microwave. And what I'm doing is I'm microwaving my 4 bowls of the cup of soup. So what you want to do is, I have a pot here. You want to take that leftover juices that's in the cup of soup and you want to pour it into the pot, because that's what you're going to use in order to make your cabbage with. So you want to take the leftover juices and pour it into your pot. Now I'm going to do that with all 4 of my cups of soup. So I'm going to leave that closed like that, and I'm just going to sit it to the side. Now in this skillet, I'm going to go ahead and take my shredded beef. And this is going to take about 2-3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fry that up. Now I'm going to add to my beef some onion powder, which you saw at the table. And I only have like 1 package of beef, so it was about a pound of shredded beef. And then I'm going to add the same amount of garlic, which is 1/4 of garlic, 1/4 of onion powder, and the same thing with the salt. Now you're seasoning the beef only, because the noodles are going, and the cabbage is going to pick up its seasonings from the juice that we're putting in this pot. Follow me? This is what I'm going to be cooking my cabbage in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fry up this beef. It should take me about 3-4 minutes. By that time, I should have all of my cup of noodles ready, and I'll have all of the juices in here, and that's how I will cook my cabbage. So I'll be right back when I get ready to add this cabbage into this pot. Okay, now I'm back, and as you can see over here in this pan, it took about 3 minutes, but my beef is already cooked up. Now you cook the beef in its own juices, so you don't add any oils or anything. Allow it to cook in its own juices, and if you can look, it won't leave any juice once it finishes cooking. Okay, so now this is, I have one more to add, but this is the liquids from the cup of soups. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to add my cabbage. And this is 3 cups of cabbage. And what I will do, as always, I will post this recipe at the bottom. The sound you hear is just my microwave, because it's preparing that last cup of soup. Okay? So you're going to allow this to cook maybe about 5 minutes. That's all you're going to need. Now this is my last cup of soup. And I'm going to add the liquids from that. Now this is going to give real good flavor. I also want to let you know is you can use any cup of soup you want. So it doesn't matter if you use beef, you get beef flavor. If you're going to use chicken, you get chicken flavor, but chicken always works best for me. Or you can use the vegetable cup of soup. And of course you will get the vegetable flavor. And if you're vegetarian, you can just go ahead and leave out the meat. You're still going to have a very, very good meal. So I'm going to cook this up, and as you know, cabbage will cook down. So I'm going to allow this to cook down. This is going to take maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, no longer. Then I'll bring you back when I get ready to mix everything together. One other thing, you're going to get more of the cup of soup than you would normally get in a cup of soup. What do I mean? Because you're going to be adding the cabbage, as well as adding the pico de gallo, and as well as adding the beef to this dish, then that means that instead of you getting a servings for 4, you can turn those 4 cups into a serving for 6. Because you're going to have all of this added ingredients to go into that cup of soup. So I'll be right back once I get this cabbage cooked down, which will be about another 2 minutes. Be right back. Okay, this is a very fast meal, so it's at this point that we're going to mix everything together. So now you see my cabbage is done. And you don't want to take the crunch out of your cabbage. You want to leave some crunch in it. That's why I said 3 minutes, you know, is all of the cooking time that it needs. And you don't need to season it because you got the seasonings that came from the liquids from the cup of soup. So it's at this point that you're going to go ahead and add in your shaved beef. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to mix in your noodles. Now, these noodles, as you know, they have like a little bit of carrots and a little bit of corn in there, so that's okay. And use your favorite brand of noodles. I know there's several cup of soup noodles out here, so you can use really any one that you want. This is a great meal. It requires not a lot of cooking, and you can get this done. And look at how much I have. Now everything is already warm, so I really don't need to do any cooking. And you want to make certain that when you get ready to eat this, that you have everything. Now, if you're a lover of cheese, it's at this point that you would go ahead and put your cheese in. Okay? I'm going to cut my stove off. So, the only thing you're going to put is like 2 or 3 tablespoons of cheese. Or, if you're not that fond of cheese, like I'm not on my dishes, then you can have each individual just to go ahead and put a little bit of cheese on top. Now this will feed your whole family, and I think that you spent really under $10. So we're going to go ahead and dish this up. So you have your vegetables, your meat, and you have your noodles. Okay. Now, it's at this point that if you wanted to put some cheese on top, you could go ahead, put that back in there, and put some cheese on top. And just for the sake of showing you how it goes, I'll just put a little bit down on this. I will anyway. Okay. I didn't put a lot, just a little. Okay, so then you would go ahead and add your pico de gallo. That's going to bring in some of your heat. And you're going to add a lime and spruce it up with a little bit of noodles. There you have it. Now that's a fast and easy dish when it's hot outside and you really don't feel like cooking. That is something that you can prepare in a very short time and your family is truly going to enjoy it. That's cup of soup, Carne Asada noodles. Very, very quick and easy to make. And I think that if you try it, your family is truly going to enjoy it. Okay, that's all we have for you today. Hope you try this. I know that you're truly going to enjoy it. Real fast, you won't be slaving in the kitchen. And as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.